Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our very first meetup for the bot creators. Today we will be discussing everything from A to Z about algorithms. What is what is a bot algorithm? How do you write a bot? How do you connect it? How does it work? And to help with that today we have Colin Groos, which is the CEO of our company, and Philip, who's responsible for all tech-related issues for the bot creators. And so today we will be answering any of your questions. Also, we will be launching the new API today. After this meetup, everybody will receive an email with documentation. So for those of you waiting to get started, this is the day. It has arrived. It has taken some time, but we are very proud and happy of what we've achieved so far. And we also have one of the former colleagues in the chat, which is Damien, and you'll be able to. We'll be talking about his services a little bit later on. He's an affiliate. He runs an affiliate program, and we'll go into more depth at the end of the meeting. I think it would be good to get for the people who are not yet familiar with bots, to get a little bit of an idea of what bots is. Well, Colin, that's why you're here. So please let everybody know what is bots, what's so cool and exciting about it. And
Oh, I'm really glad to be here and to see such a huge crowd coming up. So that's quite excited. So I'm Colin. I'm one of the 3 founders of Bots, and we founded this company around 3 years ago in October 2017, when the first spike of Bitcoin was about to happen. And I'm trading in cryptocurrency since 2014, so that's quite a long time, and I did quite well because I did it in a certain strategy. And I thought at a certain moment, how can we make here an automated trading strategy? And we thought of a few ways, and we had to find somebody who can program it. So that's where Stefan came in. He's also one of the founders at this point, and he actually programmed our strategy. It was quite a simple strategy. If something happens, then you then you buy, and if something happens, then you sell. Well, that's really easy sometimes. But in the Excel sheets, we made a lot of profit, of course. And then, when we are doing it in practice, then the profits were a little less than in our Excel sheets because we realized that there are some spread, there are some other costs involved. And so that's why we also realized, we have a good strategy, but it wasn't that profitable as in our Excel sheet. So we had a search for finding new kind of strategies. So I came at cryptotrader.org. There we also saw a platform where you can make a strategy and you can put it on, and then you can also try a strategy. But we thought this is not really accessible. So you have to be really technical as a user. If I want to put my algorithm there, then you also have to be technical. If I want to use a strategy there, then you have to be technical. You need to have an exchange account. You need to connect with API keys, all kind of things that were quite difficult. And because we had a good strategy, we thought, I want to give it to my friends. I want to give it to my family. I want to share it with other people, because why would I be the only person to benefit from it? And that was the starting point to realize, we can make it better. We can make it more easy. We can make it more innovative. And in this way, we started with the company. The former name was Revenue. And later on, we translated the name to Bots. And Bots resonates more with what we are doing, what's on the platform. It resonates in several languages far better. So we are really glad with the name Bots at this point. And we are a platform, so everybody in the world who can make a strategy, like you guys, you can put your strategy on our platform. You just send signals, so the strategy is totally yours. We don't want to see your code or your strategy. It's only sending the signal, so the IP is also yours. And you just send signals, and then all of our users, they can choose a strategy. They click on your bots. They say play. They put money in with Ideal. They don't have to make separate accounts, API connections, wallet addresses, and all this kind of stuff. It's all part of the past.
Yeah.
And now we have made a really accessible platform. So that's bots in a nutshell. And because the last 3 years we have developed a lot of stuff. It looks quite simple on the front end, but it's far more technical in the back end. We've created our own hybrid exchange. We've created a tokenized exchange. There's so much going on in the background, that's where we are going. And we recently focused more on getting more bot creators. So that's also why we set up the team, why Arthur is here and Philip is here as well. And that's where we stand now. We have around 7 teams creating bots at the moment. And we are about to expand. We're about to create a bots league. A lot of exciting things happening around the bot creators community.
Yeah, now it's the time to make the easy accessibility for the users also as accessible for the people who actually write the algorithms.
Yeah, you can also understand what we also realized is that when these bot creators they actually come to our platform already and like we are a magnet, because there are guys having a great strategy, but how to find wealth where you algorithm can trade with. Yeah. That's most of the time not something that a developer is capable of attracting. So that's why they also come to us, because we can give this the assets under management to the bot creator, so the bot creator can make money without it being their own money. And also, if you are making strategies and you say, well, I'm making 100% returns in a year. Well, and you say, okay, well, then you can probably go to Goldman Sachs and deliver your strategy there. Well, there are also another 1,000 people signing up there for bringing their strategy, but then Goldman Sachs says to 99%, no, guys, we only hired this one person, and then where do the rest go to? Well, then you have the platform bots where you can deliver your strategy and also make money on it. Also, while you're working as a quant, then in the evenings you can program your strategy and you can earn something extra. Yeah. So we see it's a place to bring your creativity to, where you can just continue with for most of them their hobby.
Yeah, it really breaks open a new market in that regard, obviously. But that for the users, it's a unique opportunity, because you can usually rent signals, so you can rent them for 500 or 5,000 euros a month, which they might run well, but this is not available for most people. And same thing goes for the algorithm, obviously. Like, most people who will be able to write an algorithm don't necessarily have the capability or have a fund setup that will actually be able to sell it to like one of the larger family houses or hedge funds or big banks like Goldman Sachs. Yeah. So in that regard, it's obviously a very interesting new market that we're breaking open. So how do you what is it from here? I mean, what do you see are the most interesting developments that we have in the year ahead of us?
Well, one of the most beautiful developments in the lights of the bot creators is our new BAM API, which you have been Stefan and a lot of people in the back end have been working on it for quite a long time, and now it's finally realized. And Philip made the documentation ready to make sure that everybody can hook up to the new API, because in the beginning it was only sending signals, but as a bot creator you didn't receive anything, so you couldn't adjust your strategy or your if you don't get any data, you cannot really work really well. So it really had to be changed, and now we have this BAM API, and it's as advanced as an interactive brokers API. So the bot creators can now do everything with it. So that's one beautiful advancement that we have done in the last period, where in 2021 we will all profit from, I think. And we are also working on our tokenized exchange, our United World Exchange, and there we also tokenize assets. We also tokenize gold, for example, Forex. This is where we are working on. It's not yet available inside the app, but we are working on that as well, and probably in the first quarter of next year, we hope to have some more strategies around the tokenized assets.
Yeah, so the people
The
who are
U stocks.
yeah, so the people who are not yet familiar with crypto don't have to worry. It's coming. We'll be able to offer you any kind of product you want in your future.
It's also good to say, because we are a platform for bringing good returns to the users, and it doesn't have to be cryptocurrency. That's where we started, because all the innovation is coming from this area, and that's where I started as a trader. But we are bringing more market instruments to the table in the future. So also normal stocks. We have this tokenized stocks, but also the Forex and the gold and everything. All the market instruments normal traders are used to will be at a certain point on our platform.
So what do you think it would look like? Like last year, if we compare bots 1 year ago to now, there was no app. There was 8 or 9 people. What are your expectations for Q4 2021?
Yeah, we expect a huge growth of users, and also huge growth of strategies on our platform. Now we have around 60 strategies on our platform. We are well in contact with all these bot creators, so that's also really important for us to go through all these learnings. And also now we are busy with these invoicing for the bot creators. It needs to be tweaked a bit, and there are so many things coming up. And then it's really good that we did it with a select group of bot creators in the beginning, because then we had real good contact. Then we get a lot of feedback about our API, about what's working, what's not working. There were some bugs in our exchange. So all these things, they are filtered out now. Everything is much better, and this is why we now are at the threshold where we can say, okay, we can now onboard all the bot creators to make beautiful strategies. And it's actually a big competition inside the app, because the people with the best bots, they get the best returns in the past. The users will fund these strategies probably much faster than a strategy who is doing a little less. So the one who makes the best strategy will in the end be on top of all the categories.
Yeah, there's not much reasoning for people to go into bots that are not making a profit or not as profitable as others. Like if you can make 80% in a couple months or 40%, well, which one are you going to choose for?
A lot of our users are still greedy people. It's never enough.
They always
want to have more.
Their bot goes up 100. They see Bitcoin up and go 110. They're like, that's
that's not logical.
Obviously, we're like the entire idea of algorithmic based trading is that you're going for returns in the long term. And it's always nice to be in booming markets when you're trading, but obviously, like, you want to make sure that you keep your profits, because it's not that hard to make money when trading, but losing it is very easy.
And what's the good thing about being a platform is that you don't have just a few strategies. You have so many strategies, so you can make a basket of strategies. So if you have some strategies waiting for the rise of the Bitcoin, for example, and you have some strategy that hedges you a little bit when they're going down, that you are out on the right moment and buy again, so you can always buy on the dips, and that's good. So and also, if a strategy doesn't work over time anymore, you just throw them out of your basket, take a new one. So that. Yeah, some people say that, these strategies, they cannot work for the rest of your life. It's not possible. So, well, it doesn't have to be, because it's a platform. You just throw them out. You put in a new one. Yeah, that's the beauty of being a platform. Yeah,
you're not stuck to one specific idea, because there's so many people. We see how many people logged in signed up for the meeting today, even alone.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many people who are interested in writing algorithms, who write algorithms. So there's so many different ideas out there. I mean, the basket is nearly endless. The only thing you have to do as a user is, pick whichever algorithm suit your specific purpose and get rid of the ones you don't believe in, basically. So we talked a little bit about like what we're doing now and where we're going in the future in terms of different assets. As of now, we're trading in cryptocurrencies in the spot market, which could you tell us the users briefly, because some people might come from Forex or from equities, give a little bit of oversight of what is a cryptocurrency? How would you define something like this?
Well, cryptocurrency is it's a currency that has a certain value. It's most of the time it's connected to the blockchain. It's secured by cryptography. So that's also if you want to send it to somebody, you do it through keys, and that makes it quite impenetrable for security reasons. And that's why you have several kind of those. So you have like a store of value, like the Bitcoin, and you also have like companies tokenizing their assets, or tokenizing other kind of assets. There are so many variants on cryptocurrencies, but you can just trade them also through an exchange. So you can make a strategy. So you can make also profit out of these coins and what these companies are doing. So that's why we can offer it through our platform, and that's why we also been able to start there.
Yeah. So, but in that regard, what would be like the main there's lots of different ones. Everybody knows Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Could you give an example of like another one that's
well, you have the Bitcoin, then you have the second one, Ethereum. And in the top 10 coins, you have a lot of liquidity as well. So that's also something where bot creators should look at when they create a bot, that there's enough liquidity, how much is being traded in the last 24 hours, for example. Yeah. That makes sure that you can, well, if people decide to fund your bot with around 1 million, well, you also have to be able to push it back to the market. If you have a coin with only a 24-hour trade volume of 1 million in 24 hours, then you can only do.
There's only so much you can do before the entire market starts moving and sees like, hey, what is this guy doing?
So
it might also be interesting to know that we have a specific protection for this. Obviously. You need to protect your users for this, because you want every user to be able to use 100% of their available assets. So to do that, we cap the bots. We put a maximum on it, depending on the coins that are being traded. So if you're trading in a very low liquidity coin, your market cap is going to be very low, because there's just not that many coins that you can trade immediately. And if you're looking at Bitcoins, for instance, like that's a massive market. You can easily dump 1 million, but dumping 1 million in small markets is really hard. So we have an automatic model that calculates how much we can actually put in a specific bot before users will get a 90% fill or an 80% fill, because we really want the users to get the maximum benefit, obviously.
Yeah, we also have to protect our users a bit, also from new kind of strategies that come on our platform. So and also new teams that join our platform. We also just want to see who are these bot creators. Do they have a sort of a reputation? How long are they on our platform? If you have a certain reputation, and we know a bit more about the teams and the strategies they deployed on our platform, then we can also make another estimation of this cap. Because if we have a new strategy that only trades in Bitcoin, you probably have a really high cap. But if you are total new team, we don't know you really well, then it's kept a little bit just to protect our users. But if we see over time, because we have this backtesting period, or not the backtesting, but the quarantine period, where the strategy is really tested in practice, and then we see, okay, this works quite well, and then we let it go through to the platform and make it available for our users, and then along the way you are building your track record, and along the way, your cap will be raised as well.
Yeah. So the longer you're with us, proving that you're that you
Trustworthy.
can reliably provide your clients not only with safety from drops but also with nice margins.
Yeah.
Because the idea is obviously for the bots to make money for the clients.
Yeah.
So
Continuity is really, really important
Yeah.
for the users. And if your strategy certainly stops trading at a certain point, we want to protect the users in a way for that.
yeah, exactly. So it's also like you said, like the continuity for the creators is very important. But it's what we also see in the platform is that you have when a user is using the bot of a specific algorithm builder, he will use specifically this bot from a new from this builder because he knows this builder. He already has an algorithm of this. So really, the interaction with like your users, what kind of marketing you do, like
you see, they have a reputation at a certain point.
Yeah, I mean, for instance, Roy Landers from Boosting Alpha. I mean, he's been in the podcast a couple of times. People know who he is, and you just see that he has has a very nice following in that regard because he's quite open to the users, answers the questions, and updates them. And this is obviously, like for you as a future bot creator, it's very important that you also interact with your clients and not only just put your algorithm out there, but look on the Discord channel, see what kind of questions there are, come into the podcast so you can really go into depth about your own team, what's the reasoning behind your strategy, why do you do specific things, because this just creates a lot more trust, because at the end you're still trying to get the client to deposit his assets on your bot, and obviously I'm not going to give 100 euros to my next door neighbor because he has a nice story, but I would listen to him if he had a really good story. And he tells me
he has
why,
a reputation,
and like my other neighbor knows him, so obviously you're going to be much more incentivized to put assets on this. And for the bot creators, this is obviously the main goal, to get as much assets under management as the fees are calculated on how much are you trading, and the easiest way to increase that is obviously to get more users. And what I wanted to quickly point out we've been having some questions about this since we're on the topic of cryptocurrencies anyway, is that Ripple made a pretty interesting move last couple of days. Obviously, Bitcoin has been skyrocketing and all the cryptocurrencies have been flying up. It's been like Christmas, to be honest.
Also some interesting moves.
yeah, it's a really interesting move.
Yeah, really good.
All really hard up, and that's really good. And we have something interesting that kind of defines the cryptocurrency market as it is currently. Because if you look at other markets, they're quite heavily regulated, and there are certain ways to do things. And recently, Ripple had a very interesting bonus, so to say, for the people of the Flare network. So if a user held a Ripple coin in their wallet at the 12th of December, they would get a free Flare coin from their broker, which is very nice. But as you can imagine, as soon as 12th December hit, everybody took the screenshots. And it took a massive plump.
I think that was ideal for a bot creator to do that, to make it sort of an expectation of what's going to happen. Oh well, these guys are just going in for until the 12th of December, and then they will jump out. And then, as part of your strategy, you can if you see these things happening or coming, then you can if you can send the right signals, you can make a lot of profit, and you can bring a lot to the users.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, moments like this are obviously perfect time. Like, you never want to buy the top, you always want to buy the bottom. I mean, that just makes sense. So drops like this are really for...
Yeah, but this is also about sentiment analysis. So if you make a sentiment analysis on the Ripple coin, for example, and you see in the social media they're talking about this flare coming, and then you see people are using or buying more Ripple, and then realizing that, okay, I'm going to sell, and then the bot can sell much faster than people who have to go to their computer. Then they have to log in again. Where are their login codes? And then within a few hours, or maybe 5 hours, for example, then they are able to just sell it, and then they're already much later. Then there's an algorithm running for them.
Yeah.
But we don't have to tell the bot creators why you need an algorithm probably. But
That's an important point that you're making, because in general people think about bots that they are driven by market data, which is in 90% of the cases true, but you could also have a bot driven by that kind of events.
Yeah.
There is no limit on what a bot can react on.
Yeah. Yeah, there's obviously there's lots of different algorithms. Like obviously we don't need to explain too much what an algorithm is, but I'll cover the basics for the people who are unaware. So a trading algorithm is basically a piece of written software that decides on depending on certain parameters whether or not it's going to buy or sell stock. But like you said, Philip, there's so many variations. Like you can have a trend trading strategy which will be looking for new trends, but it won't buy when the stock is shooting up like an idiot. It will only buy as soon as it goes down again, and then it will wait for the next bump to go up. I mean, we have actually also new AI bots coming in from Atama, and which is actually really cool because this is a whole new category. Because basically, what they do is they let their AI run and tell them what to do. They have absolutely no idea.
Up to the new API.
He's going to get hooked up to the new API as well. Yes, obviously that went live today, so all the current bot creators will be switching to the new API. Yeah, and that just creates very interesting results because you also have wildly different strategies. Some of his strategies from the same bot creator, one might trade once a week. One might trade once a month. Yeah. One might trade once a day. Yeah, that just goes all over the place.
He told us that his AI, he generates around 1,000 algorithms a day, and then only one of them in a day is worth training it with more data, and then in the end of the month, maybe just 5 or 10 strategies are worth using with certain parameters or certain returns that are beneficial for the user. So yeah. But maybe you're going to show us something about the BEM API, or?
Yeah, we're definitely going to go into quite a lot of detail on the BEM API. It's a little bit later on. Philip will not only he will also show the documentation, but he will also show you live with a notebook how to connect to the APIs. And obviously, at the end, we're also going to be providing everybody with all the documentation, notebooks. So it should really be as easy as it is for our users. Relatively speaking, obviously, I would say to get connected to our API and to get trading. Well, it might actually be a good moment to have a look if we have some questions that might want to be answering. So I'm gonna start with a couple from the that we get from the YouTube comments. If you have any other questions that you want to have answered during the podcast, let us know, because we're gonna have 2-3 more of these little breaks where we can answer the questions. And
unfortunately, I cannot join the whole.
That's true. That's true. I'm sorry. Then how about this? I'll let our CCO get back to what he's good at, which is raising capital. Because, well, for most of you, this will be known, but Bots has raised quite a lot of capital in terms of funding over the past, I would say, year and a half to 2. I mean,
it's quite expensive to build a company like this from scratch, and with all the technology, we have a team of around 25 FTE. That's around 42 people working for our company to make sure that we can get this far. And that requires a lot of funding as well. But now we are at a certain point where we have a lot of users, where we get more returns, and we get a revenue stream. So soon we will be break even, but we have a huge growth potential. So that's where we have to focus on. Where are we going? We want to have 1 million, 10 million, 100 million, and in the end, it's a product for everyone with a little bit of money and a smartphone. So in theory, the audience can be around 3 billion people. So it's no lack of ambition here.
Yeah.
So that's where we are going.
Yeah, we're going to
Yeah.
conquer the world, and well, not just for the
Definitely.
users,
Yeah.
and also for the
Yeah.
people joining us from
Yeah.
abroad. Remember, like if you're abroad, it doesn't matter. You can still send us trading signals, and even if there's legal issues, there's well, it's
We will make sure that
technical
that's also
server.
important to know for the bot creators. We probably will run into some difficulties. That's what happens with a startup. But it's our goal to overcome these difficulties and to find a solution together. For example, if you are in a foreign country where you cannot download the app yet and you still want to have a key to create an algorithm with, we will make sure that we will get you connected and hook up to our system and our API, and so your bots will be in our platform as well. So this the pressure that you deliver to us makes our platform in the end much better. We are always in this kind of a struggle, and all the feedback we get from you guys is also really welcome to make sure that we can exceed, we can make this much better than all the other platforms out there. And in the end, the user wants to gain some profit. The bot creator, they earn a percentage of the trade volume that the bot is turning around. So if a lot of users are using your strategies, you probably can become really rich. Because if you have a million users funding these bots with €1,000 each, for example, then it can be really profitable. So it should be profitable for the user, should be profitable for the bot creator, and in the end, it should also be profitable for the company itself. So we can make sure that we can grow all around the world and make sure that we can give a second source of finance to everybody in the world. So that's how I would like to
The mission.
make the statement. Yeah, and I hope you guys will be with us in that ride. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, you can go. You're relieved.
Thanks.
I saw a couple of questions run by. I'm just going to start with the top one. Regarding to high frequency trading, that obviously is a question that we've been asked before, and this is indeed something that we're working on. Do keep in mind that real high frequency trading on cryptocurrencies is, well, actually quite hard because the commissions are relatively high compared to other places like equity, like the equity or the forex markets. And this is indeed something that we're working on, but has not yet been implemented. And so another question that got asked is who's responsible for analyzing the strategy of the new bot? We actually have an automated system for this, so that we don't have to handpick the algorithms ourselves and make sure that, because obviously algorithms are highly complex or can be highly complex, and we can have lots of different signals, and it can be hard to make a judgment call on this as a human. So we have a strategy analyzer that looks at the input from the algorithm. Then we assign a certain risk value, and obviously if the risk is too high, that then the bot would get rejected during the quarantine period, and would get in touch with the bot creator on why their strategy is trading as is, if that is planned, if they want to make any changes. So that's all automated. And let's look. And no, we're not. One last question: that we're not going to be trading on milliseconds yet, as I said, because the spreads are just, for now, too high. Obviously, with the new markets, it's going to be a little bit different, and we're working also on a way to make that accessible, but that will be in the near future. I'm going to hand it over to Philip, who will be taking you through the first notebook. And to give you a little bit of an idea, we split it up into two bits. The first part is what we're going to be dealing with now is how to make an algorithm, how to run a rudimentary backtest, what you can do. And after that, we're going to be talking, the last part of the notebook is really specifically about how to talk to, how to communicate externally and send us orders. So Philip?
Correct, yes.
The word is yours.
Thank you. Yes, if you could, my screen is shared, yes. I wanted to take you through the basics of what is involved in making a bot. What is a bot? So most of you know probably, some may not. I will we'll go through the steps here. So basically, what we need to develop a bot is we need to have obviously some kind of an idea, and we need some data, and we need to be able to generate a signal based on this idea, and then see how well the signal actually performs had we been able to trade on it. So that we can simulate those steps here, and I will show you what to do. So first of all, we start out by getting some historical data. The different exchanges usually provide an interface for you to request the data, so you can get the historical data from them. And in general, the data is represented in bars, and a bar is a piece of information which contains the open, high, low, and close price of an asset in a certain time period. So what we'll do here, we have a file where we read the data from which we will use to develop our bot, and I will show you what it looks like. So I read some data from a file, and I show you here the first couple of lines. So we have like half an hour bars, and for each half an hour we see what the high, low, open, and close values are. And we can also take a look at this graphically. So basically, every bar, if it's a white, the close is higher than the open, and you see the low and high prices there for each half an hour. So ideally, we would like to have some kind of an algorithm which tells us to sell here, and do nothing, and to buy here again, and then that will be perfect, and sell here again. So we want to see if we can achieve that. And what we need to do there is to create a function which generates, which takes as input the bars, the historical data, and then generates a buy, a sell, or a do nothing signal. And the basic simple idea that we will develop here is we'll look at the difference between the fast and a slow moving average of the close price. So let me just run this cell, which will take the close prices from the data that we have, calculate the fast and the slow moving averages from that, and then we can have a look at it again. And then we see here, so this is the historical close price. This is a subset. It's like, 100 data points, 100 bars. We have the fast moving average, we have the slow moving average, and the idea is when the fast moving average crosses the slow moving average downward, it's a sell signal, and if it crosses upwards, it's a buy signal. So for example, here it crosses downwards, it's a sell signal, it's a buy signal again here. Here's a good sell signal, it's selling here, and it's going, indeed, the market goes down. Here is generated, it would generate a buy signal again. Well, it actually looks pretty good for this piece of data. So let's define this function here. We take as input the available bars. We calculate, if we have enough bars, we calculate the fast and slow moving average, and then we compare, again, if the last fast is bigger than the last slow, and it was previously less, then it's a buy signal. So it's crossing from below, and vice versa for the sell signal. Then what we can do, so now that we have defined our signal, we can take this whole historical data that we have, and we can have our backtesting engine simulate the position changes based on the signal that is generated by this function. And then it will calculate the profit that would have been made or the loss or whatever.
It's not always going to be profit.
Unfortunately, it's not always going to be profit. So let us just run this, the backtesting, and then I got a little bit of ahead of myself here, but I know for a fact it will generate a small profit now.
Oh, there we go. Already made a money machine.
So there we have it. We started out with 10 bitcoins, and then finally we had 10.02. So it made a small profit. But what is also very important to notice here that compared to the benchmark, it far outperformed the benchmark. And the benchmark is, for example, if this is my whole data set, the benchmark would have been buying here, do nothing, and then see what you have at the end of the data.
The buy and pray.
The buy and pray, exactly. And in this case, it would have been very bad. And it also, if I look here, what the backtesting has calculated for the whole data set, it would have made a significant loss, 70%, and a huge max drawdown as well. So the bot actually performed pretty well, even though it's a very simple strategy, a simple moving average. It's actually able to generate a profit. We could play around a little bit with the different moving averages. So we could make this notebook available to you, and you could play around with these values, see how it would have influenced the results.
Yeah. Obviously, with different settings, you're going to get wildly different results. I mean, we might get slightly profitable with this, but we change a couple of things, and suddenly we are down 90% at the end of the trade.
Well, we could try one if you like. We could. You want to try some other values here, just to see?
Yeah, we can just.
What do you would like to see?
Well, no,
let's take a little bit longer, like 15.
9 and 21. Most traders will like that.
9 and 21.
Yeah.
Okay. So we now redefine our function, and we call the backtesting again. So remember, we had like 0.21% of profit. Now let's run it again with these new values. It's quite a lot of data, actually. It's 100 days of half-hour bars, so it takes a little while. Ooh. Slightly less.
Oh, no. We're no longer rich. So, well, as you can see, like, it's not... some people might think, like, oh, you just use a couple of indicators, throw it together. It actually gets a little bit more complicated because, well, you get different results, but obviously it's not... as easy.
Exactly. The idea is one thing, but then the parameterization is another one.
Yeah.
And this is where the backtesting is really handy. So the tool which we could also make available to you could come in really handy in trying out your different parameters or.
Yeah. Now, you can play around with this really a lot. Like, you don't have to use just a moving average. You can combine it with an RSI or a VWAP or price levels or like
anything.
You can really make it as long as you want. If you want a code if you want an algorithm that's 100 lines, you can do this. If you want an algorithm that's 100,000 lines, well, really the limit is your imagination.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
How well you can keep track of this, of course. And the interesting part obviously also becomes when you start moving around the variables, is that the more variables you add, the more the balance of them gets, the more important becomes the balance between those, because that's why you do sweeping tests where you try lots and lots of different numbers and just let the computer run, and which is also why it can take so long to run a backtest, because the backtest that we're doing here, well, that took like 10 milliseconds. I mean, that's nothing. It's run really quickly, but like these really long-term backtests, if you're analyzing large chunks of data and have 100 different variables that are all changing, I mean, it
can be a long time indeed, and
quite a power-consuming activity as well for the servers.
So another interesting idea that came up when I was making this is like, what if we have like a random bot, like a monkey bot? The monkey just does some random buy or sell signals, doesn't really care about the data. And I was wondering, how would it perform? Well, obviously, as now we have this setup here, we could easily test it. So we create a random monkey signal bot. It just generates a random number. Based on that, it generates a buy or a sell signal. And we can backtest this in the same way to see how it would have performed. Now,
I wonder how
in
that
general, I expect it to underperform, but since it's a random process, we cannot exclude the possibility that it actually outperformed. Yeah, exactly. So let's have a look. I hope it's underperforming. Yes, thank God.
Would have been interesting if that made a significant profit.
Yeah, if we run it again, it might.
That's very true.
So basically, a setup like this allows you to experiment, with different signal generating ideas, different parameters. Inspecting your data, getting your data. So a notebook like this that might really help you in developing your bot. Basically that's it. I wonder if there are currently any questions.
Let's have a look. There's, like I said, if you have any questions specifically, don't hesitate to put them up. I see some questions coming in about the notebooks. Yes, everything will be shared with you. And also for the API, we have a little coup de grace at the end, which we will also share, and we'll be going through the documentation, which everybody who's registered to the meetup event will receive. If you haven't registered to the meetup event, but you did log in anyway, please send us an email at botcreators@revenue.io so we can forward you to detail. This will also later on become available on our GitHub repository. And well, the last one in is actually a really good one. It's about the MetaTrader. As of yet, we're not supporting communications from MetaTrader to the bots platform. However, this is something that we're working on, and also that we're really hoping to get live in Q1. That you can trade from your MetaTrader and send us a signal to our API without having to change your environment. And interesting. So
one other interesting little thing that I wanted to mention is that if you have like a proper thought out signal, it's you probably won't trade too often. So if I look here now in the backtester for the moving average strategy, it trades 258 times, and the monkey trades 2,384 times. So
yeah, okay, that says something about it. Obviously, like we've said it before, but you're not trying to get every single move. You're just trying to get the ones you can actually predict.
Exactly.
To make sure that you're long-term profitable and not just trying to jump in on every move that goes up. I mean, for example, with Ripple shooting up like a rocket again after the big drop. Well, yes, that is very nice. It happens, but that's not a statistical guarantee that every drop is going to skyrocket up. So you can't really plan for those situations in that respect. Shall we move on to the?
Shall I continue with the next one?
To the connecting part.
Okay, so once we have defined our bot, we have defined our signal generating function, and we have created the bot, we received the market data, and now we want to actually send the orders to the bot's platform. How to do that? So the bots API is a REST API, so it's just a protocol over the HTTP. So you don't need any special connectivity or protocols. It's just the HTTP protocol. So all you need is an internet connection, and also you can use any language that you want, as long as it's able to generate these REST calls. What we're using here is Python. I made a little wrapper around the API to facilitate the access. And if you make a wrapper like this in your own language, or you use this one, you have very few code lines needed to make the connection and to actually send the messages to the API. So I can show you now how that works. I import the library and I create the connection. I call it bots platform here by simply instantiating this API class and giving it the URL. Then it also the library also contains some to introduce a little bit of a more strongly typed way of working than is usually the case with Python. I introduced some classes which contain all the fields that need or can be set. Some fields are not required, other fields are required. So it contains all the fields that you have available. So if I'm developing, I could see what are all the fields that I can set or have to set here. So that would really facilitate you don't need to go to the documentation continuously.
That's very convenient, obviously.
So one of the things that you have to do when you want to create a bot is you need to register your bot, so to speak, with bots platform and get like a key, a bot key. This can be done in the app. So you can, there is a bots factory, I think it's called, page.
Yeah. It's in the app. It's a special part of the app. And for those of you who have the onboarding guide, it's described how it works, but you have to turn on the developer tools in your app to actually get the factory open. And there you can make the keys, you can add the description, select the base coins, things like this. This actually generates the API key, which you can use to start communicating with our API, which is per today the new one, the BAM.
So it's very easy to connect everybody. It's accessible for everybody, but you need the key and your name of your bot and your key to actually be able to send your messages there. So that's what needs to be present in every message. So you can do this like in the when you create the. In this case, I want to create my Bitcoin order here, and I can immediately set the fields that won't change when I'm creating this parameter. Then once I'm ready to send the order, all I have to do is actually, obviously say which site I'm going to, my order has, buy or sell, the price, the quantity, and this is something which we can elaborate a little bit on. The quantity is expressed as a percentage of the assets that are allocated to your bot. Because basically, as a bot creator, you're not always aware of how much assets are allocated to your bot, so you couldn't really say, I want to buy, 5 Bitcoins, because maybe there is not enough assets allocated to your bot. So your quantities are specified in a percentage of allocated assets.
Because people can obviously get in and out of your bot
exactly
constantly. Like if somebody with a 10 grand on your bot decides to exit, and you're suddenly missing 10 grand in your order. That's
exactly. So you as a bot creator, you specify it in this way, and the BAM platform then translates this to an absolute order size. Okay, so once the parameters are set, all that needs to be done is just call the place order with these parameters, and there we go. The status is accepted by the exchange. So our order is in.
There we go. That's how easy it is.
How easy it is. So obviously, during the lifetime of your order, when your bot is running, you want to keep track of your order. You want to know what is the status, has it been filled, how much has it been filled, for what price has it been filled, and there are also functions in the BAM API to give you that information. So again, in a similar fashion, I can create a state request, and I want to know about my order that I just entered. You can access an order either by your own ID, as you have defined it yourself, or by the ID as you see it here, which is given to you by the platform. But for brevity, I will use my ID here. So let me just see what the status is. Yeah, it is still same. It's still active, accepted by the exchange. If you want more information, you can call get order info. And this will give you more details, obviously, like specifically about the has anything been executed and for
Good to
what
know.
price. Yeah, that's really handy. Okay, the other thing that you probably want to do with your order at some point, if you want to put in another order or your I don't know, your strategy decides that you don't want this order anymore, you need to be able to cancel it, which is also obviously supported. Here we go. It's cancelled. If I now request what the status is, again, yep, it says fully cancelled.
There we go.
There we go. So, in a nutshell, this gives you an overview of basically, I would say how easy it is to access the API. There is a little bit more to the API because obviously we cannot explain everything there is right now in this short time. Shall we take a quick look at the Swagger file right now?
Yeah, I think that's good. So we have the documentation. We don't have it as a static page. We have it as a YAML file which you can open in Swagger. This is to make it easier for you to get connected. Obviously, it's a much nicer interface than just having to look at the static page without being able to interact.
We will also be making that one, but we decided to go with this one first. So this allows you to really explore. We can send you this file. You can read it into this the editor, and then you can explore all the function calls here. See what are the required fields, what is the potential, the possible values that a field might have, etc., etc. You can actually also make the call. Let me just take a very simple one. I don't know, cancel order. I say try it out. What happened? Oh. Okay, something happened. I don't know. Let me just get back there.
Well, it's a live stream. That's the difference between recording a podcast and a live stream.
Fortunately, it's very easy to get back. Let me see. Let me see if I can make this call. Yeah, just so I could just try it out. I give some, I don't know, some values. My bot and some key, and I say execute. Obviously, this will not fail because this bot is not known. The key is not known. But what it shows you as well that you can get this curl command here. You just copy it and maybe and paste it in a terminal, and then you can just execute it. And it says now forbidden because this key is not known, so this call will fail. But it's that easy to try it out. You can just get the command here from the editor and play around with it.
Yeah. So once they get the key in the app and it's all registered, they can.
Then you can already play around with accessing the API with one line of code. You don't have to write any line of code. You just explore it in this way.
Yeah, so you can double check whether or not everything is working on our end. Did I create the bot properly?
Exactly.
Yeah. You don't have to find out after 2 months of developing that the key that you generated doesn't work.
So you can check if you understand it the same way that we intended it. So
yeah, perfect. Well, thanks. This is as said many times before, we will be sharing this with everybody, so don't worry about it. Everybody who's hooked up for the meetup, and otherwise just send us an email and we'll transfer it to you. We're coming into the latter bit of our presentation, and there's something that we want to discuss. That is one of the current bot creators who's working with us is Damien, and he has developed a platform. So this platform is basically designed to help people who, after this meetup, are thinking who came to the meetup thinking, I have a strategy that I would really like to deploy, but I'm not really sure how to put it out there. If you're still wondering a little bit how to do that or insecure about how to do this and you want a faster way, Damien can help you if you share your idea with him, he can set up an algorithm for you and take care of all the back testing, changing the variables, all this time optimization. He will take care of this, and then all you have to do is supply him with ideas, and your bots will be featured in the store. So that's very interesting for those of you who don't want to code yourself. And also, I will be sharing a link to his website as well. It's called dema.ai, and he's actually also in the chat. So if you have any questions, you can also just hit him up right now to ask to send you a DM or something like this. One of the major things that is going to go online pretty soon is what we wanted to finish with is the Bots League, and this came to life that we saw that quite a lot of different platforms have done in the past some competitions. So obviously, as we dream big, we want to make the Bots League something that's not only like a competition. You enroll your algorithm, and then you just see who wins at the end. That one gets a cash prize. So obviously, don't worry, we still have cash prizes, and also you can get assets under management for your algorithm when you win the competition. But this is going to be really broadly broadcasted. We're going to make Bots TV, and we'll be streaming interviews with the bot creators, keeping track of of obviously the winners, who is leading, and what are they doing that makes it so much better. And during these streams, we're going to be broadcasting also tips and tricks, ideas that you can use for algorithms, things that you might want to use, or suggestions for where you want to host your algorithm. And this will be starting on the 18th of January, from the top of my head. And it's very important that you register beforehand, and we will also be sharing this link with everybody, but you can also find this on the website. It's bots.io, and then in the top you can find the Bots League link where you can register to compete with everybody else for, well, not just the cash prizes, but also you'll be competing to get a slot on the Bots app itself. And we're going to be helping winners. Obviously, it will be a lot easier for them to get more assets under management once they've been on TV and commercials. And
that will be a good commercial, yeah.
Yeah. If you have any last questions, this is the end of the meetup. It's a little bit faster than we anticipated, but once again, this is the first time for us. We will be doing this bi-weekly or monthly in the next year, so we can get a little bit more interaction and to provide you with more information. So do you see any specific ones that pop to your mind, Philip?
Actually, I cannot see them.
It doesn't matter. I have them in front of me. So I got one very specific one. The rest actually not. The most important one would be for me is the buy percentage. Is that in terms of available funds or just total funds? As you are a documentation writer, it's available funds, right?
The funds that are allocated to your the bot, which is dependent on the number of people that find your bot interesting and invest in it.
Yeah, fair enough. We have one last question coming in as well about the fees in the backtesting. No, they were not included in the backtesting.
They were not included in the backtesting. That is correct. Yeah.
That is a that's a very common mistake that gets made. That people think, oh, if an algorithm it runs 100%, it does 100,000 trades in a year, and then all of a sudden you realize you pay quite a lot of commission when you trade it.
That's another reason to keep your exactly. Keep it in check, the number of trades.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we would say that we can end the the meetup there. If you have any questions following this or you're reviewing this later on, don't hesitate to contact us. You can email us at botcreators@revenue.io. And everybody who signed in will get an email complete with all the documentation, the notebooks, everything we used right here, a piece of code also to help you get connected to the API. And we want to thank you very much for showing up today. It was very nice to be able to get in touch with so many of you via this way, and we do hope to see you in the next broadcast as well.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.